Hello, Pally.
Today is Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018.
And InFocus starts right now. A Spirit Week necessity is being sold for a limited time only.
And in world news, rescuers continue the race against time after a deadly natural disaster hits.
All that and more is coming up on today's show. Welcome to InFocus. I'm Stella Essenmacher.
And I'm Leon Friedrichowitz.
Students are off Friday, but that doesn't mean that there's any lack of things happening on campus.
Sometimes I think more happens when we have shorter weeks.
I get your point. I know, I've been busy this week. Let's see what's going on in today's campus bulletin. Spirit Week is right around the corner. Spirit shirts are now being sold for a limited time only. Sales will be open until Wednesday, October 3rd at 2 p.m. Students can find the link on Schoology or on the Pally web store. Those who need financial assistance should contact Mr. Hall. Usually considered by athletes, a post-grad year is another year of high school at a private boarding school where students can strengthen their academic profile while continuing athletic training in preparation for being a recruited collegiate athlete. Brighton Academy in Maine will visit Pally on Monday, October 15th at 9:05 a.m. Interested students, athletes should attend this college visit to learn more about Brighton Academy and about taking a post-grad year.
Girls in STEM is hosting a panel and mixer with speakers from countries Africa, Middle East, and Central Asia, as well as their mentors from Bay Area companies. The speakers are part of a program started by Hillary Clinton called Tech Women. At the panel, they will answer questions about their experiences in STEM outside of the US, their perspective on lack of diversity in the field, and future career paths. There will also be time for the audience to ask questions and split into smaller groups for discussions. The event will take place in October 9th during tutorial in the Haymarket Theater. Free food will be provided. Pally has a diverse student community, and Unity Day helps celebrate that diversity. Students who sing, dance, or participate in an activity that is unique to their culture or ethnicity should stop by the Wellness Center to sign up and perform at this year's Unity Day event. Our colleagues at KPLY will be out on the quad tomorrow at lunch. Students can hear some of their award-winning podcasts and have a chance to win some sweet swag.
Now let's change gears and move on from what's going on around campus to what's happening in the world and locally today.
This is today's News Minute.
Rescuers are continuing to sift through rubble looking for survivors 4 days after a powerful earthquake and a tsunami battered Indonesia's Sulawesi island. The quake and tsunami killed more than 840 people, and that number is expected to rise.
5G wireless internet just became available to parts of Sacramento. The speed is said to be 300 megabits per second. This is 2 times faster than the current 4G LTE Verizon coverage. After Sacramento, Houston, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles will also be able to access 5G.
Today marks 1 year since the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. 58 people were killed and hundreds of others hurt in the attack on a country music festival in Las Vegas. 50 doves were released at a memorial ceremony in Vegas, 1 dove for each person killed. The news is filled with current Supreme Court justice approval process.
However, 51 years ago, another important Supreme Court justice was sworn in.
Kyle Sweezy, our very own resident historian, has been learning more.
We all know that the current confirmation process has been pretty contentious. But was this nominee's confirmation equally as difficult?
Well, Leon, the historical Supreme Court justice we're discussing today faced critics who claimed he was a judicial activist and were worried about his liberal track record. But on this day in 1967, Thurgood Marshall was sworn in as the first African-American Supreme Court justice. After a successful career as a civil rights litigator for the NAACP, including the historic win of the Brown v. Board of Education Supreme Court case, he was nominated by President Lyndon Johnson on June 13th. Marshall was confirmed by a Senate vote of 69-11 on August 30th, and on October 2nd he was sworn in. Throughout his long career as a Supreme Court justice, he was a staunch defender of the democratic cause, often supporting abortion rights and strongly railing against capital punishment. He resigned in 1991 due to declining health and died 2 years later. He is remembered for his strong defense of civil rights, and his confirmation marked a historic moment in American history. His primary judiciary motto was to do what you think is right and let the law catch up. Well, that's all from me. Back to you, Stella and Leon.
It's hard to believe, but Winter Athletics registration for 2018 is now open. Anyone looking to compete this season should check out the link on Schoology.
But fall sports are still in full swing. Jason Goldie is in the studio now with the latest Pally Sports news.
How are our fall sports teams doing, Jason?
Some are doing pretty good. It's October and that means Halloween. Just like my bag of candy, it was a mixed bag for games yesterday. Let's start with field hockey. Varsity field hockey lost 10-0 in a match against Los Gatos. With a score of 5-3, boys JV water polo made a splash against Woodside. Boys varsity looked to be in the deep water, but ended the game with 8-7, also against Woodside. At home, freshman volleyball will be up against Gunn High School at 4:30 p.m. JV volleyball competes against Monte Vista at 5:30 p.m., followed by varsity at 6:45 p.m. For the water polo, girls varsity will start the clock at 3:30 in Cupertino. Boys varsity plays at Los Altos at 6:45 p.m. Also in Los Altos, JV field hockey will face off at 5:15 p.m. That's all from me. Back to you.
Living in California, we don't really get much snow, but here, rain is just about as good.
But it's a little harder to ski on, Stella. Our meteorologist, Thomas, is in the studio now with today's weather report.
Thomas, I hear that there might be a change in the weather?
That's right, Stella Leon. All I can say is you might need your water skis. What's going on, Pally? Thomas Colvin, your weatherman here. We're going to be talking about weather around the Bay Area today. So as I look up in San Francisco, it's about a high of 70 with a low of 61, coming in at around 4 to 5 mile an hour wind. Pretty nice and warm in Oakland. So then we go up to Oakland, we're coming in around 75 with a low of 61, roughly around the same temperature as San Francisco. And as we look down in San Jose, high of 81 with a low of 63, roughly around 77 degrees right now in San Jose. So that's our temperatures in the Bay Area today. So as we look today in Palo Alto, it was around 77 degrees, coming in with a high of 80 and a low of 61. Winds around 4 miles an hour, humidity at around 56%. So as we look at Wednesday and Thursday, a high of 72 and a low of 60, high of 67 and a low of 51. So as we look through the rest of the week, it's looking pretty nice for the highs, all around low 70s and 50s as the low. But Friday and Saturday and Sunday is going to be nice and sunny. So go outside and enjoy that weekend. I'm Thomas Colvin, your weatherman. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Thomas. Well, that does it for today's episode.
Be sure to visit our website to check out old episodes, check the bulletin, or to send us an email.
Until next time, have a great day, Pally.